After their cross-state rivals won the Stanley Cup last season, the Tampa Bay Lightning want to reclaim the trophy that they won in the first 2 years of this decade. Even when losing Steven Stamkos in the offseason to free agency, it's very hard to counter the Lightning at any point. While it's been 3 years since they've been to the Stanley Cup final, there is the belief that they can make a deep run in their 8th straight playoff appearance. Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, Victor Hedman, and Andrei Vasilevsky are the 4 key faces amongst the mainstays in this core. Kucherov is still among the most dangerous offensive players in the league, and just a year removed from setting a career high in points. Even with the drop-off in production, he's leading the league in points and could possibly go for another Hart Trophy. Point is still one of the biggest reasons that the Lightning are staying afloat, and it's one of the most dangerous goal scorers in the league, even strength or power play. Hedman, now the team captain, remains the calm presence on the back end of the defensive core, and is still pacing the team in ice time, continuing to be a workhorse. Vasilevsky, after an injury-riddled down year last season, is back to putting up Vezina Trophy winning numbers, stealing the show in low-scoring games for the Lightning to go with 6 shutouts, second only to Connor Hellebuyck. Anthony Cirelli and Erik Cernak are 2 other core players that are part of the Stanley Cup winning core. Cirelli plays a crucial role on the penalty kill, being their best defensive forward. He's playing the best hockey of his career, not only for his defensive prowess, but also chiming in with a career high in goals. Cernak has returned to the team's top 4, where he remains a regular on the second pairing on the team's shutdown pair of him and Ryan McDonagh, where they got back before the season. McDonagh was brought back last summer, and was a priority for the Lightning in the offseason because of his familiarity with the team and much needed stay-at-home defense, which is what the team struggled with when he was with the Nashville Predators. He's not the player that he was offensively, but the Bolts don't need him to be that. Yanni Gourde was brought back for the same role that he had with the Bolts in the back-to-back Stanley Cup runs. A third-line grinder who can win faceoffs and kill penalties. He's also a solid puck possession player too. In the offseason as well, Tampa was faced with the dilemma of letting Stamkos walk or keeping him for another ride. There were plenty of worries in letting him go, but adding Jake Guentzel has helped the Bolts a lot of his goal-scoring counts, and has swatted himself to being a key staple on a terrifying top line. He also has a reputation for being a strong playoff performer too. The top 6 as a whole is scary, not only of Guentzel, Point, Kucherov, and Cirelli, but also of Brandon Hagel and either one of Nick Paul or Oliver Bjorkstrand. Hagel has blossomed into his own as the most underrated player at the Tampa forward core. His career took off when he was traded to the Bolts, as he boosted him with his forechecking, his scoring, and his ability to play on both the power play and the penalty kill. The latter he has formed a chemistry with Cirelli. Paul has been part of the Bolts core ever since he was acquired in 2022 from the Ottawa Senators. He has had a hot start to the season scoring-wise and remains one of their top defensive forwards, although he's been less involved physically this season. Bjorkstrand, similar to Gourde, is a solid possession player and can be relied on for 20 goals per season. He's also a year removed from his best offensive output of his career. The concern with Bjorkstrand, however, is that he's out week to week, and who knows when he's going to come back for the playoffs, potentially if Tampa goes deep enough. The summer also showed more retooling of the roster from general manager Julien Brisebois. To go on with Guentzel, the Bolts were in a cap dilemma and not only lost Stamkos, but also had to move out Mikhail Sergachev, another key face of their cup-winning core. As the Utah Hockey Club got a true top defenseman, Tampa got a strong return out the deal by getting J.J. Moser, who is younger and cheaper but is a confident defenseman on and off the puck that can control the blue line, and top prospect Connor Geekie, a big frame forward who has improved on his skating since his draft year and with his stick handling. Luke Glendening anchors the 4th line, though there are questions about his availability in the playoffs. The team is hopeful that they'll get his shutdown abilities back for the playoffs at some point, however. Zemgus Girgensons will take his place at 4th line center for the moment, and its versatility is needed, as he can play both center and wing to go with his defensive-minded game. Mitchell Chafee didn't get his NHL career started until he landed with the Bolts, where, after he was a top 6 forward in the AHL, is having his first breakthrough in the NHL on the bottom line, being an upgrade over Tanner Jeannot offensive-wise. Gage Gonzalez spent most of the season in the NHL, and although he was underwhelming at first, getting sent down to the AHL Syracuse crunch over the Four Nations face-off break, that was a major confidence boost for him, and he got his offensive numbers rounded out. Cam Atkinson is veteran insurance for when anything happens to one of the players on the top 9 forward core, though he's played in a more limited role this season. Some of the concerns have been solved on defense, with the group getting back up to speed, such as the case with ML Lilleberg being one of the many depth defensemen to step up, especially when the Bolts are injured, where he rotated in roles in all 3 pairings. The Bolts have alternated using 6 defensemen or 7 defensemen, In the case of the latter, they used both Darren Radish and Nick Parvix. Both are solid in their own right, where they have emerged into key depth pieces on the Bolts as late bloomers in the NHL. The question, though, is if Vasilevsky suffers an injury, is Jonas Johansson good enough to deliver reliable goaltending? While the Big Cat is still one of the best goaltenders in the league, he's been forced to heavy workloads in the past because of unreliable backups. The Lightning showed this season that they're not done competing for Stanley Cups. They've reopened their window after a heartbreaking offseason. If their high-end talent combined with their all-around depth, they can make serious noise in the playoffs.